Hi, Stitchy friends. It's Kara, the Granite State Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. And I am coming at you with a second video today. My first video should be up and posted. It is my recap of weeks 2 and 3 for Mara May and for Mania. And this is going to be a video about celebrations. I attended celebrations last week and they are celebrating their 31st year. And if you are not familiar with celebrations, it is the oldest running needlework show / event in the US and Canada. So I just wanted to bring you some information regarding it. If you ever get a chance to attend a celebrations, I would highly recommend it. They do have a couple throughout the year, spread throughout the US. The one here in New Hampshire is always in May in Nashua, and I think they do one in Missouri and maybe one in Florida. I'm not absolutely sure where the other two are, but I'm sure that if you go to their website, you can find that out. So to get started, celebrations runs from Wednesday night to Sunday morning, and you can go there and stitch if you want to. I know a lot of people come and they actually stay there in the hotel. It's usually at the Hilton. So you can stay there and just stitch if you want to. They have designers that come from all over the world. They have vendors, exclusive things that you will only find there. So Wednesday night to start off is usually just a meet and greet with the vendors who are attending. And Thursday is, again, just stitching, getting to know the people that are there. They will open the vendor mall, which is where all the shopping and displays are set up, and that will open Thursday night. So that's open for Thursday. That's open all weekend. Friday starts. Oh, and the classes do start on Thursday. They run classes, specialty classes on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday if you want to sign up. I did sign up for a couple classes this year, so I'll show you what I did. And then Sunday morning is kind of a wrap up. The vendor mall is still open, I think, until noon on Sunday, and then everybody heads out. So when you first arrive, you get your little brochure and your name tag with your pin. And membership fee is $55 a year. And again, it covers you meeting all the designers on the meet and greet Wednesday night, the pass into the shopping mall, and other exclusives that may be just open for you. So just let me run down real quickly the vendors that were there this year. You get the schedule of events, the do's and don'ts of what's going to be happening all weekend. So it's basically sponsored. I know that Colonial Designs is one of the founding shops that put together celebrations, and their booth, they have exquisite boxes and stands and other things that are custom made out of wood. Beautiful. They also have a lot of specialty kits, a lot of specialty flosses. They have a really large booth and they always have good stuff at their booth. The Purple Thread was there, and she had a lot of wool. So wool applique, wool fat quarters, so great to pick up all your wool necessities. Wood Turning by Cynthia. Now she's here from Dover, and the stuff that she makes is beautiful. And I don't know if you can see this picture too well, but these are just some of the things like a scissor holder, an awl, a seam ripper, these little caddy cups that you can put stuff in. So many other things at her booth that you would never think of. And her stuff is really, really nice. Stitch New England was there. Pam had her shop there. And let's see, Romy's Creations. She was one of the guest designers. She was awesome. What a bubbly, jubilant person that she is. Manny Dodonna was there. That is Juliana Puttini. So she was there. So There, which is another fabric shop. Still Stitching. That's the shop by Susan Greening Davis. She is what a wonderful designer she is. And she has fabrics and from all over the world. She travels all over the world, and her specialty is textiles and flosses. And I'll get into more about her in a minute because I can't say enough good things about Susan. Needlework with Jim. Jim has the best fabrics. The best fabrics. His booth is always busy, always busy. Then they have a make it and take it booth where you can just pay $10 to $25 for a bagged kit. You don't know what's in it. I think some of them you might have, but some of them are surprise mystery packs. And you take it and it's a kit of something that you can make right there that weekend. They have the Fuller Craft Museum. Now, this has, if you've heard of the Red Dress Project and the Embroidered Dress Project, and I'm not well versed on those, but they had the red dress there last year. And these are dresses that have gone all over the world and have had people stitch on them. If you Google Red Dress Project, you'll see what it is. But here are the two dresses. They're in museums right now. And actually, that's just one of the dresses. The red dress wasn't there this year. This one was there this year. And everything on there has been hand sewn. The dress is hand sewn. Everything on the dress is hand sewn. And they even had some specialty motifs. I think this side of the dress right here was all stitched from people in Africa. You can see there's a tree and kind of like a desert scene. It's just beautiful. It's amazing, amazing. Riverview Stitching was there. She had a shop. Tatted Webs. I don't know if she has been there before, but she came, I think she's from Maine, and she taught a class on tatting lace. And I wish that I had been able to take that class because some of the people that did take it, they were showing off the little snowflakes and the little projects that they had made, and they were so cute. And she had very elegant stuff in her booth. And let's see, DDM Needleworks. Oh, that is why I just lost her. I just lost her name. It'll come back to me. Anyway, Denise. Jeez, I knew. Denise, she has one of a kind treasures in her booth. And she's a riot. She's a riot. And then JC Creations. This is Janice, and she does the Nantucket baskets, and she teaches a course. I did take her course. The stuff that she makes, the Nantucket baskets, I'll tell you something. Those things are gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. I mean, an original Nantucket basket, if you find one, is thousands upon thousands of dollars. The most expensive, she was showing us a picture of one that is actually in the Museum of Fine Arts down in Boston. And it is made with reeds and has the scrimshaw decorative designs, the bone hooks. Nantucket baskets were made by fishermen back in the, I guess, 1700s, 1600s, the men that were out on the whaling boats or the fishing boats. And to bide the time, they would, the insides of the barrels, the whiskey barrels or whatever, as they started to, or even the brine barrels, I guess the wood would start to, strip off. So they would take these strips of wood, these canes or whatever, and they would start weaving and making baskets, and they would bring the baskets home to their wives. Um, so I can't even imagine finding one that's a couple hundred years old, but this one that's in the Museum of Fine Arts, it's listed at $45,000, the value of it, and it is gorgeous. But just the Nantucket baskets that are made now, um, the true Nantucket, they're a couple $100s a piece, depending on what size you get. Some are even larger and more expensive. Um, so that's just kind of like the overall recap. Oh, and then Saturday night, there is a dinner, and they have a charity. It's always for cancer awareness, specifically breast cancer awareness, but all cancers. Um, all the proceeds go to Dana-Farber, and it's kind of like just a wind down. And they always have a theme. Last year was a tropical theme. This year was a Western theme. So that was fun. So let me get into the classes that I took. So on Thursday, I took a class with Juliana. I love her because she's from Italy and her accent is exquisite. But what a lovely, lovely lady she really is. So this is the project that we were doing. So it is this um, little box with that little rose colored handle on it, the fob, um, and there's also all right, so there's a scissor fob that's not shown here. Oh, here it is on the back. Scissor fob, and then this is a little needle book. And so you get the whole kit with the templates. So that was my class for day one. And unfortunately, the tatting class was offered at the same time this one was, so that's why I didn't get to take that one. And then on day two, oh, I took my Nantucket shaker basket class with Janice, and I did, last year I made a needle holder, a Nantucket needle holder. And this year we made a little shaker box. And let's see, one of my things has come loose in there. I'll have to prop that back down. But isn't this adorable? I love this. I love this. And of course she has like big ones in her booth. But I'll tell you something, I am really into this basket weaving, if that's what you want to call it. But I love it. So I think I'm going to look online to see if I can find some of these kits, because now that I know how to do it, I'd love to make more. Of course, my daughter wants this, and I'm like, no, I'll have to teach her how to make one. So that was my class day two. Oh, let's put that back over here. All right, so that was Friday. Saturday, I had signed up for a class in the afternoon with Romy from Romy's Creations. And then I was online, or I was talking with my friend Amy from Two Cross Stitches, and we were talking about it. It must have been like Tuesday night, earlier in the week. And she was signed up for Romy's class too. We were taking it together. And she says, oh, I really feel like taking another class. So she went online and she's looking to see what was still available. And she says, there's a class on Saturday morning we can take. So she signed up for it, and then I went online and looked and said, okay, I'll sign up for it too. What the heck? And I am so glad that I did. I am so glad that I did. Okay, so this was a class put on by um, Susan Greening Davis. And like I said, this woman, I can't even talk enough about this woman. The knowledge that she has and the willingness, her kindness and generosity, she shares everything with you. And I mean, she's been doing this for 50 years and she travels around the world and she studies fabrics and textiles and she studies threads and flosses and the coloring process and she goes to museums. She does tours where she takes groups with her abroad every summer, and she gets into exclusive um, displays and archives, things that the normal public can't see. So I would really, really love to go on one of her trips someday. But so her class was, can't remember exactly what the name of it was called. Well, I got the schedule book right here. Let's see. It was called A Breath of Elegance. Now, we walk in, the first thing that she hands us are these bags. Okay. Now, these bags she got in Helsinki. And it's like a tapestry bag. It is so well made, so thick. The fabric is very thick. Like I said, it's a tapestry bag. Um, and she had these and she says, oh, well, I picked these up when I was in Helsinki and I figured I would find a use for them for a class. So, I mean, just these bags alone are, just gorgeous, gorgeous. So the class was to make, we were learning hardinger. So that was a first for me. And it was creating this pattern. Let me get up close so that you can see it. And then sewing this on the front of the bag. Now, I don't know if I will sew it on the front of the bag. I love the bag, but I don't think I would want this to get damaged after putting all this work into it. Now, this piece of lace right here, I'll show that to you. See, there's a butterfly that's stitched underneath it, but you can obviously stitch anything that you want. The lace she got in Belgium, it's real Belgium lace. And again, just her generosity. She's like, oh, I picked these up in Belgium and I was hoping I could use them for a pattern someday. But all the specialty stitches that we learned just to do this. So we got the bag. She gave us this whole packet with the instructions, everything in it. She gave us the flower threads. This is done with flower threads, and evidently they're not going to be making flower threads anymore, which I did not know. And we learned all these specialty stitches that are going to be used on the front of that project. And she went over each stitch. She gave us explicit instructions. So we learned everything used in this stitching pattern. Obviously the cross stitch, the back stitch, Smyrna cross. Then we learned how to do the long arm cross, the four-sided stitch, which runs along the border of that hardinger, hem stitch, bullion stitch, which I absolutely love, but you have to have a special needle. We learned the trick of doing a bullion stitch. You have to have a special needle, which she gave us all these bullion needles. Herringbone stitch, and then the wrapped herringbone. And look at this wrapped herringbone. You do the herringbone stitch here, and then you take another floss and you wrap it around. Beautiful. So all these stitches are used in this pattern. So that was cool to learn all that. And then she gave us the fabric. And this little box. I'm going to put the fabric inside this plastic thing so it doesn't get dirty since it's white. And this was our toolbox, okay? She also gave us these little hand-painted clips that she got in the Netherlands. Adorable. And this is the piece of lace that came from Belgium. And then she gave us, those are our practice stitching, inside this box. Like we had the bullion needle. Actually, this is the bullion needle. See how long that is? Get off that thread. And then she gave us this whole set of sulky threads. These little handmade specialty buttons. I forgot what they're called, but they're all wrapped. They're made and they're wrapped with thread. A little thread pull, little clips, just a whole bunch of goodies in there. So that was a really nice class to take. And like I said, she is just such a sweet, sweet person. Okay, and then Saturday afternoon was Rami's class. And in Romi's class, we were doing a spooky box. Spooky bag. Sorry, spooky bag. Let me take this out of the plastic. So this is what it looks like. And it's so cute. You know, it opens up in the front. You can put all your stuff inside there. There's also a little pin cushion, little needle book. So full instructions on how to do it. All the floss. She provided all the floss. Scissor bling, the templates for the box, and she went over the instructions on how to do the box. All the fabric, and you know what's really cool? She gave us this piece of polka dot felt, and this is wool felt, and she says this is made special abroad because we can't get this here. So that's cool. So yeah, that was a fun class to take. And she gave us vintage country mocha fabric that we'll be using. So let's see, put this back in the bag. So those were the classes that I took. And then, So Saturday night, I mean, neither Amy nor I were signed up for the dinner, and then they still had room, so we signed up on Saturday last minute. Um, so let's see, I forgot to show you this. All the members received this when you arrived, and um, you can use it for a badge holder, or there's this little pattern that goes inside, and a kit comes complete with everything. And then Saturday night, when you sat down at your table, each setting had the theme was Western. Oh, I don't know what that is stuck on there. So you had this at your place setting. Your silverware was stuck inside this holster. We all had these little barrettes to wear in our hair, unless you came dressed in a Western theme. And Susan handed out this little bag, and it's a red sewing roll. And she provided everything. Again, this was a little bag that she had gotten somewhere abroad. And everything that you need, like all the red floss, the white floss, the red felt, the birds, more felt. Here's the band. There's that and that. And here, fold up scissors. I never know how to get these open. Oh, I guess they move. Anyway, little pair of scissors. I have to figure out how to open those up. And then you got a little pair of snips, the world's tiniest scissors, in this little holster thing. So cute. So that was the goodie bag that was on your table at each place setting when you came in. And then the centerpieces were boxes. And after dinner, we played bingo, and every table, it was arranged so that every table would have a winner. And then you got to choose whether or not you wanted to keep your box or trade it with somebody else. Everybody's box had something different in it. Your box may have had fabric, another table's box may have had patterns or needle mine, whatever. Everybody's box was different. And so our box had patterns from Hands Across the Sea. So that's the one that I got. And then just other things that were handed out. This was a little goodie bag by the Purple Thread. And like I said, every year they do a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness. And every year there is a different house. There is a different house pattern. So this year's pattern was on pink. And you can get raffle tickets. They have baskets. They have silent auction. And Amy won the basket that had fabric in it. And she gave this to me, patriotic banner. So that's cool. I will find something to put on that. Thank you, Amy. And I think that's just about it. So every day they were doing door prizes. So you had tickets and you got to go put them in, and they did basket raffles too during the day inside the vendor hall. So our friends Carol Small, Carol and Karen Hildreth, Carol Smulligan from Maine came down, and they were there on Saturday. Were they there Friday or Saturday? I can't remember which day. I didn't see them because I was in a class. And anyway, Carol ended up winning some patterns. So this was one of the patterns in the bag of patterns that she won. And I saw it and I texted her. I'm like, I need to borrow that pattern. And it's Dalmatians, and I just love it because I'm the chief. And this just reminds me of my daughter's Dalmatians. Like maybe I won't. I don't know if I'll do the fire station. I may just do the dogs with the flag. And this is definitely Pongo, and this is definitely Honey. Pongo is the old lady of the house, and when they got Honey as a puppy, Pongo laid down the rules. Like this is my house, and you'll do what I say. Um, and it's just so funny. So I have to do that for my daughter. Um, Haul. I did get a little haul. I was very good. I was very good. I did take a lot of stuff off the free table though. I can't help it. You know, you go through that free table. Oh, I would like to stitch that. Oh, I'd like to stitch that. There was some stuff on the free table that I was so surprised was even there. I think I got 3 or 4 Teresa Wentzler patterns. Um, and it was like, wow, why are these here? I got an original Prairie Schooler, um, the Bunts of the Seasons, and I got August. August was just hanging out there, and that's my birthday month. So it's like, hey, I'll stitch this. And another thing, another class that I did sign up for that Juliana sponsors, and Denise actually does the class for her. Juliana makes pincushion dolls, and I bought one last year, a pincushion project to do, and I haven't done it. But this year they had the Betsy Ross doll, and they're going to be doing that class over the summer sometime, and I signed up for that. I ordered the package, and I'll put the picture up here. It is amazing. You get to make the doll, do the stitching, and then make those pins that go in the doll. And I I couldn't resist. Patriotic, right? So, um, you know, the dolls that she has are beautiful, and I wouldn't consider myself to be a doll person, a doll maker person, but the one that I picked up last year was beautiful, and then this one I couldn't resist. So my haul, okay, so I got the thread winder, the rose colored thread winder that goes with that kit for the sewing box, and then the rose colored scissors and thimble. And then I got this pattern. It's Mary Chilton, one of the Mayflowers. And I think what I'll do is I will just remove her name and put in one of the Mayflower ladies that, like Priscilla Mullins. I'm descended from Priscilla Mullins. So I might just put Priscilla up there. I probably can't fit her name all the way. I'll just have to adjust it. But so I'll do this Mayflower sampler. And this was the hand painted needle minder and ruler that came with it. Um, so here you go. And I got the last one. And that's it. So again, if you ever get a chance to go to a celebrations event, I would highly recommend it. You just get so much out of it. I know that I do. Amy said the same thing that she got just from the people that teach the classes. And of course, they do lectures. You can sign up for lectures. I took all of Susan's lectures last year, and they were amazing. And she had tapestries. I mean, her collection is extensive. She loans her collection out to museums. And she had parts of her collection there last year. I mean, we had to have the white gloves on, the whole bit. And we're looking at samplers and tapestries and sewing rolls, that were hundreds of years old. And um, again, you get so much out of it. And they also do, they have other classes. Um, they do round robins. You can sign up. They have 3 or 4 round robins going. You can sign up to do that. Um, but yeah, they just go online, check it out. I think that if you ever attended one, you would be pleased. You would be glad that you did. So that's it. I'll wrap this up. I plan to be back next weekend with my final recap video of May, Mania, and Mira May. So until then, happy stitching. Take care. I hope wherever you are that it's not raining. Um, my heart goes out to all the people in the states that have been affected by the tornadoes. I know that my daughter, she lives in Nebraska, and there were a couple nights that they were on tornado watch. So again, Mother Nature, right? So take care. Till the next time. Bye bye.